find documentary Earthlings. If you are very brave, you can watch that documentary. It's not all about food. It's about animals and entertainment and all different other, our relationship to animals. So I'm going to read too. But I want to start off with my tomato poem after I do this. I'm glad the kids are busy. Mona Lisa God. Every way you look at her, she's smiling. That prick.
Wait a second.
I didn't want to be sexist about it.
Okay, great.
The Color of Where. This is an old one. This one reminds me of, I don't want to compare myself to Jim Chiletti, there's no comparison, but I like the way he, all those details, all that description and stuff. But this is very old. The Color of Where. Where I'm from, tomatoes bloom big as silicone tits. I didn't look at Karen. Cucumbers root riotously the leafy tresses of blushing radish, while beans ravage the trembling trellis. Swollen zucchinis plunder cabbagey crevices, and huge wound yellows spoil all doubt. And kudzu keens its devouring growth, while hydrangeas climax pink and blue like frilly frocks for newborn hopes. Sometimes I think of returning to Eden, but for the blood-mad mosquito, the bleak peakless vistas, the two-faced moribund sky, gray as April's alpine slush, and the scent of insects nesting in the brush. This is called Phantoms of the Ballet. I don't know if you can see this. This is the book that David did recently. This is called Phantoms of the Ballet. What I want to say is a true story, because we can think many things at the same time. I'm not saying we think them all well, but this was a night where my daughter was taking a lesson, and I kept going back and forth watching the lesson to some other thoughts from some information the day before. Okay. You see how the teacher tenderly takes the slippered foot of the stick-thin kid and places the toe of the calf on the other leg, such that the bent knee and foot form a small pink triangle. The teacher says, now lower your arm and angle your fingers as though water is dripping off the forefinger. Yes, like that. The girls practice their positions, perform rudimentary moves of the pirouette, and then have free time for improvisation, abandoning their bodies to the music and their gossamer skirts whirling. And then you recall the thick, ugly ankles, feet, and toes of the other students priming for performance. How the wrinkled legs are yanked, huge and heavy, and bound by braided ropes, their bodies slammed to the ground or shocked into submissive march, and how they're taught to sit like proper tea ladies on little benches and forced to contort with front feet atop the animal ahead. As the handler commands, make them scream. Scream! Using bull hooks and electric prods to override the residual nature and masking the thunderous cries with blaring music. Yes. You know the denial of nurture, the shackling for half a year after birth until the struggle comes to an end, and the lumbering from cage to cage for 30 years or more begins. The aspiring ballerinas stretch their spindly arms up and up, rounding them and sashaying side to side, mothers eyeing the mirror intently with expressions of pride. The humongous beasts, exhausted, bruised, and beaten, are back to chains and cement, and your mind helplessly plays and replays the pastiche of beauty and brutality. You wonder if you should withhold money from the teacher and all lessons from the child, and instead send it to those fighting for decent treatment of unsightly sentient beasts. Well, your child is hungry, so you drive into a circus of noise and lights. You proceed warily, gripping the wheel like a bar, in search of some